there we go. Back online. Sweet. All right, so that's running. Okay, let me get this set up. So the whole point, oh yeah, I said I played that on the other stuff. Let me see, list of music symbols. Please don't be anything bad. Please don't be anything bad. Notes. Music notation. This is probably not the right stuff. Maybe that'll work. Nope. Music notation breakdown. Here we go. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I can't see it, but yes. Can you guys see this? Let me see if I can just pull it up like this. Oh, that's so tiny. All right. Maybe I could do that this way. Maybe this will work. Yeah. Perfect. So this, remember I was talking about the bars, right? Open up a new tab. No, what should I do? Not that. Well, yeah, that's the line part right there. Yeah. But that's used to actually put it in stuff. There we go. This is it. Why? Yeah. So remember I said you have 4 beats in it in a bar, right? 4 beats in a bar. That sounds like a beginning to a joke. But yeah. So this right there takes up the whole thing. That'll be 1 bar's worth of note. That can be split into 2 halves of a bar. So 2 half notes would go in a bar, and they look like that. They're not spilled in. Yeah. Bar resets the counting. So you would count if you were going to the whole note right here. That's what's called a whole note. Is you would count 1, 2, 3, 4 while holding that note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So could we go 1, 2, 3, 4? Whereas if I was going to do a half note, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't really get it too much better. All these things are like designed to be part of like music school stuff, so it's hard to get stuff that's like big enough to where like you're supposed to be able to see it. That can be broken out into 2 half notes, right? So it'd be, instead of counting to 4, like you would with this whole note here, 2, 3, 4, you would break it up into 2. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then if you're breaking it up into quarter notes, which is what I was saying that was the main unit of 4/4, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the reason why when hear someone talking about 4/4, they're saying that there's 4 of these in a measure, and it's counted by quarter notes. These are the unit of measurement. A whole note then. I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, so this is the unit of measurement. This is how what's after whole note? Another bar. It's what's after whole note is you have to start over again, basically. So it takes up the whole thing. Oh, what's after note? If that's what it's called, the one with the line. The one with the line, the line with the line. Oh, this one? Or this one? I'm assuming you mean this one? Yeah. Beginning, yes. Okay. So, sorry, it's the stream's got some delay. Um, that's a half note. See how it's not, well, you can't see how it's not filled in. Can I see it in a way that it's not, no. Want to see better. Maybe this will do it. So, whole note. Oh, it's even got the notation. Whole note. These are half notes. Um, they're not filled in, right? That's the difference that makes them different. That's the reason why you can tell them apart from everything else. It's because they're not filled in. They look almost like a whole note, except they got a stem, basically. So, the whole note takes up the whole measure. The half notes take up half a measure. A quarter note takes up a quarter measure. Eighth note takes up an eighth of a measure. 16th note takes up an eighth of a 16th of a measure. In 4/4. And I realize that probably sounds confusing, but for the purposes of this what I'm talking about, if we're going with 4/4, this is 4/4. Yeah, that's the reason why it's a standard measurement, because it lands on each count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the reason why it's a standard measurement. Although you will sometimes see things counted by 8 notes, but we're not going to deal with that because that's a pain in the butt, and you don't need to deal with it right now. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, right? So, and then if you're going to go with a half note, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a whole note would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can fit 8 eighth notes in a bar, and then you usually would count that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the normal way that people count stuff, to be able to make it a little bit easier for everybody to understand. So it was like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you ever hear someone in a counting that when they're starting, yeah, basically, and that's I saw a video once recently. There's a guy named Adam Neely. He's so much better at music than I am. He was saying that there's only, was it, this sounds like a big number, but it's honestly not. Is like there's only a couple billion uh, couple billion types of melodies out there. There's only a couple billion, and most of them have probably been already made. Let me SC. I don't know what SS is. But yeah, so what was I trying to say there? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What was I saying? Adam Neely, smarter than me. I remember mentioning that. And then I got distracted. Oh well. He was saying there's only a couple billion melodies that you can even make in the first place. So it's kind of stupid to copyright music, because literally it's just same notes with different different timbres, different stuff. What was I doing originally? It's all good, dude. I love talking about this stuff, honestly. And if it can help you learn something, dude, like, the more you know, for real, though. I was originally going to be making a song. I'm trying to write a song in a day. But I can definitely go down this spiral with you. It's definitely fine with me. I just want to see what people get engaged with. And if you're learning about this, like, that's great. You know? Because what I was thinking is a little bit higher level. But I was figuring, if you can learn the basics, you can do this yourself, even if you don't have a whole bunch of experience with music. So, yeah. So basically, all you try to do is scramble all of these notes together in a phrase. Amory Reservoir thing. Good job. But nice, Blink. Sorry, I know Blink from outside Twitch. I know him from from the school I go to. Sorry, that's a school thing. But yeah. So yeah, if you're learning something, dude, I'll definitely take the rest of the day and teach you what I can. Um, I, yeah. So where was I at? There's only a couple billion melodies you can make, so all you do is just scramble all of these, and there's some 30-second notes, and you could. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but at the same time, there's a limited amount of stuff you can do. So anyway, point being, in 4/4, these are the basic measurements because they count on every beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then once you hit the end of that 4, that bar at the end here resets. So it's like I start over again. Let me see it. Maybe this will help explain it better, right? So yeah. So the bar here indicates that this is where it starts, this is where it stops. So you can start counting 1, 2, 3, 4 at here, and then you have to start over counting 1, 2, 3, 4 again here. So it'll be, so you notice it here, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go 1, 2. So you'd have 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, bar, 1, 2. Like a progression stage, you can see the whole note slowly transfer into real. Looks like a big spider. Yeah. So yeah, and that is musical notation in a nutshell. Honestly, um, if you put it on a graph, this is like just different ways of doing stuff. And this is a triplet, but that's I should not even bring that up. Uh, um, so that's all in notes. Let me see if I can find musical notation for rests. Beer, Freudian slip, I guess, right? Um, Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. This is the same thing, but for rests. So these, you're supposed to play notes, right? So I'd be playing a note for the whole time with this. Yeah, it's like a break. And honestly, some of the best music that I've heard really takes advantage of rests, man. It's yeah, stop playing. So let me give you an example, right? So if I have a half note, right? Half note, it'll count to 1, 2. But if I see a rest, a half rest, sorry, these are confusing to read, to be completely honest. They're the weirdest squiggly lines, I swear. These are half rests. This is whole, this is half, this is quarter. It's the same breakdown. So, but if I see a half note and then I see a half rest right here, right? That's, it's to make it easier to read. Because you don't know if you're just supposed to hold out that half note longer or it's more clear, and it's the whole point is to like, because if I see a half note, I'm going to be like, oh wait, and I think that's taking the whole phrase. I'm going, maybe everything's being measured by like 16th notes. I would have to question what kind of rhythm I'm even playing at this point. So yeah, so it's half note 1, 2, and then half rest would be 1, 2. You're not holding it. Yeah, it definitely helps with sight reading. Because if you want to learn songs quickly, yeah, it's definitely easier to go, okay, I'm not supposed to play that there, I'm supposed to play this. Yeah. It gets complicated, though, to be completely honest. Because sometimes people play with, like, you have two hands, but you're playing, like, 4 different voices, and then you know that top bit is resting, but your bottom notes are still going. It gets complicated fast, but keeping it simple, stupid, because I keep not doing that, is half note. Then if I see a rest at the end, I would go half note, half rest, and then quarter note. This is a quarter rest. So if I see a quarter note, quarter rest, quarter note, quarter rest, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. These are eighth notes, and these eighth notes, eighth rests, and these are 16th rests. Oh, do you want to screenshot that, by the way? So let me let me show you in a way, since well, I have to bring up my camera again. Let me pull up Streamlabs and move it to the back. There we go, back again. Get off my keyboard. Oh, we were going to explain chords to you, too. I forgot to do that. Sorry. Okay, cool. I get a little, I can just spritz some stuff on it and it'll probably be fine. I put an expo marker on it, so it should be able to peel off pretty quick. So, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm playing a rest in between each. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense to you. Yeah, and then if you're playing like, and you're thinking about eighth notes, yeah, definitely, and we can keep going over it until you get it for sure. I got nothing better to do, at least till 4 o'clock. So, yeah. Then you got your. If you're thinking about it with eighth notes included, you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's like you're playing eighth notes. That's the best way I can explain that. That's not a good explanation there. Not a gamer. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and but yeah, so it's like that. Does this apply to piano or sheet music? It applies to both, because the sheet music is trying to interpret what I'm playing in a format that, well, because people were making this kind of music in like the you know, the 1000s. You can't just record it and play it for everybody else. So you have to be able to show it to somebody, because you can't record it. And so what they did was they developed the system to try and interpret what is being played. And okay, how do I interpret that? The same notes apply. So if I'm playing this on the keyboard, this is still a C. Everything that we have that's a normal, what would I call a normal music thing? That's kind of pretentious. Most of the stuff that you're going to see, like a bass guitar or a normal guitar or a keyboard or goodness, like, or a saxophone or anything that you'd play in an orchestra too, right? All that stuff uses 12-tone equal temperament, right? So if I play a C here, they can play a C on their instrument. Well, actually, they can play a C, right? Because so you can. The nice thing about the reason why a lot of people are forced to learn piano is because you have a lot more range on a piano than you would on, say, a violin or a cello or a bass. They all have different ranges. Remember I said a piano has 88 keys, and it goes all the way from a really low note to a really high note. A lot of other, you know, instruments don't have that amount of like just huge range. So they can just play maybe 2 octaves or 2 octaves here or something like that, right? They don't have quite as much range. Like my bass guitar here, it doesn't go all the way up to here. It doesn't go all the way up to here. It goes maybe up to here, or maybe here. I don't know, something like that. So since everything is in this temperament, you can pick up a ukulele and go, okay, let me just find the C, and I can play a C on the ukulele. For example, let me bring out my bass guitar. So let me unplug this from this. I wanted it to sound good, but it's all right. We don't need things sounding good. This is just a lesson at this point. Oops. Let me turn this off. So on my bass, this is a C. Oops, sorry. Ooh. How do I'm gonna move this over. On my bass, this note here on this string is a C. It looks entirely different, but it's exactly the same note as you hearing that? Oh, I hope it didn't drop off again. Yeah. That's what you've gotten so far. And if you're in the next couple days here, I might be doing music stuff again. And if you want to, I can definitely teach this to you. Yeah. So the same stuff is. So this is a C, and this is the same C on a different instrument. You can play the same stuff because everything all works out to the same. So one. See how they sound the exact same? It's because they're. Ah, I'm glad I was able to help you. I'm glad too. It's great having someone to talk to. It's much better than talking to myself, dude. I was playing Apex. I was just like, yeah, I'm getting wrecked in Apex, and no one likes me, and no one's watching. So I'm glad they had the chance to help. Well, I guess I'll get back to making the song if you're gonna head out. But yeah. So if you play, yeah, I feel that. Same note on a different instrument, and that's what sheet music's trying to represent. So that's your little lesson for the day. Then sheet music just tries to represent it for all the different instruments in a way that they can all understand it. Yeah, happy to help, dude. I'll go back to making my song now.